We have a couple new models in Spring 11, with the highlight being the Superfly, being a big one for us. Have a couple revamps on color and material, so we're bringing a lot more energy into the Spring 11 line, so we're really excited about that. And then the pinnacle position is definitely the Superfly. It's our power spike. It's got a lot of great innovation, particularly in the upper, fuse construction. And kind of the idea behind fuse was to keep the same strength and durability and superior lockdown that this athlete really demands while taking a ton of weight out of the upper. So the great thing about fuse is it actually creates sort of a composite material and also creates a mechanical bond between the synthetic layer on the inside. There's a little piece of hot melt, this really thin, lightweight sort of mesh, and then this very thin sort of TPU overlay. And what it does is allows us to shed multiple layers of material, which we traditionally have a full leather upper, and we still keep that same durable, strong upper that kind of helps them focus more on the race rather than what's on their foot. There is a balance between weight and delivering as much stiffness and rigidity and strength in the plate. So for us, there is a kind of a diminishing return on weight, so we feel like we're right at sort of that level where we're giving them what they need to get down the track, but we're also making them as efficient as possible. When Olivier was designing the shoe, the one thing he was really looking at and kind of brought forward to the team was this notion of an insect wing. So if you look at a dragonfly or any other insect, they've got a pretty focused point, hinge point coming off their body, and then there's these structural elements that sort of flange out, which are called longitudinal veins within the wing itself. And what that does is create structure and strength, but in a very lightweight, agile, efficient manner. And that's kind of what we've done here with the Superfly. So if you look, there's a pretty literal connection between the hinge points from the eye stay being the hinge points on the insect and sort of drafting down into the plate, which is the furthest extension from the upper. And then the mesh sort of acts as that cellular membrane that keeps everything together and keeps it nice and shaped correctly and keeps the form and strength of the shoe. So yeah, the insect was the main inspiration point for the Superfly, and I think it's sort of fitting with the name Superfly, and we felt, like it was a really rich story to kind of bring into a physical application.
The Lunar Elite 2 for Spring 11 was updated from the Lunar Elite 1, which was in Spring 10. The concept behind the shoe initially was to make a lightweight tempo type of running shoe for people who want to run fast. So what is new in this? We created a more flexible forefoot in the lateral side. So again, this shoe is for somebody running fast. Typically they land at their midfoot or forefoot. So we wanted to really articulate the forefoot. So you'll see some deeper flex grooves throughout the midsole in the lateral side. And also in the heel to kind of isolate that heel crash area if you do land on your heel. Dynamic support is a big feature in this shoe. So visually you have a softer, more resilient core foam. And then you've got the blue represents the carrier foam, which is a denser foam. So if you see, they're both wedged. You can see in the carrier foam here, it's wedged. If you're heel strike, you're going to land in that softer, more resilient foam. And then as you roll inward or overpronate, it's going to engage the harder foam to just kind of slow that rate of pronation down so you don't overpronate. Regarding the upper, we made it lighter. We basically took the flywire panels, which flywire again is that lightweight structure. It's a real strong material, these high strength fibers that was first used in a track spike actually for 2008. So that really locks down that midfoot, and when you're running fast, that's where you want the support, through the midfoot area. And the flywire does that with still enable it to be super light and super strong. So the fingers, each flywire finger is kind of independent, so it wraps around your foot even greater. With flywire, there's no stitching, so it's a laminate process, and this is actually the flywire is the base is a soft Dupalon suede, so it's really comfortable. No stitching in the midfoot, and we do stitch the tip to give us a really snug fit in the tip for durability and comfort. Did that basically by using softer materials, lighter materials in the upper. Flywire really enhances the fit, but also gives us a nice lightweight package. So in conjunction with that, and of course the Lunarlon midsole, we hit that goal of 290 grams, 10 ounces.
For Spring 11, we have the Lunar Haze. It's got a dynamic support midsole and a Fuse technology upper. This is the first time Nike Running has introduced a Fuse technology upper and a dynamic support bottom in one model. What we're hearing from product testers about the Lunar Haze is that it's really comfortable. It's got an extremely breathable upper. There's no foam in this tongue. It's just double layer of spacer mesh, so it's super breathable. And the sole unit with dynamic support is just ultra cushioned while still being durable. If you look at a section of the upper under a microscope, you'll see that all the layers are literally fused together. There are no air bubbles, no gaps. The 3 layers have become one. One of the main advantages of Fuse is that we can build a lighter shoe than we might otherwise. We can also build a stronger shoe. We can add zones of support through the midfoot. We can open up the forefoot for ultimate breathability. We can remove the stitching so that you have a seamless, smooth surface against your foot. The shoe is also completely lined with a spacer mesh for a totally seamless feel. You can wear the shoe without socks, no problem. The midsole has flex grooves that extend all the way across the forefoot for ideal flexibility. The outsole heel crash pad is a little bit thicker to provide extra durability in that zone. And then the outsole forefoot lugs are smaller to provide ideal traction. The Lunar Haze is one of the most comfortable shoes we have to offer. I think if runners try it on, they'll like it. The Max 2011's been very thoroughly tested by men and by women, and the feedback's been amazing. One new thing about this model is while we kept the seamless interior booty, we've also added an extra breathable tongue for this new model. The tongue is actually fused together, there's no stitching on it, and we use a double layer of spacer mesh, which is wide open for ultimate breathability. The Max Air unit provides a custom ride for different weights of runners. We have one airbag pressure for the smaller sizes and mid-men's sizes, and then a firmer pressure for men's 12 and up. The airbag is dyed with something we call DCS technology. It's a closed-loop, very environmentally friendly dyeing process. If you take a look at the collar area of this shoe, it's molded specifically to really fit your foot. After the rest of the shoe is complete, we have a final molding process on the upper collar to give you an extra secure heel fit on this model.